Hi guys! In this video, I'd like to show you how the finance section works. So, on the top right corner, you can see the notifications specifically for the finance section. It will notify you about this month's income, your active subscriptions, and maybe if you have any outstanding debt that you want to clear. And just like the other categories previously, this whole page will show copies or shortcuts of the databases contained in these pages on the left side. So let's just start with the account balances. So the way these balances work is similar to your bank balance. You can create as many accounts as you want, and the balance will auto-calculate based on the transactions you've entered. I'll show you how everything calculates in a moment. So, to create a new account, click on New and make sure you enter the starting balance amount. This way, all income and expenses will be calculated based on that starting balance. For example, if you want to start tracking your checking account today, and today's balance is $500, you would enter that in here. And any transactions that occur after this point will be added or subtracted from the starting balance. Let's move on to income. Income will be all the items that will increase your bank balance. To add an income entry, go to the Add New Income section and click on New. In here, you can change the income name, enter the amount, date, month, and the account that you want this income to be added to. Now, once you're ready to save your entry, simply tick this checkbox and it will be added to the account balance. So if you go back, you can now see that I've created a second tab called Submitted Income. Just in case you want to edit a submitted income, you can come here and make your adjustments. Now, whatever you added will appear here according to the time frame selected here. So you can view your income by month, week, or even by year. Next is expenses. As you can see here, logging an expense is very similar to income, but there are a few differences. Let me show you. So instead of adding a new entry, I'd like to show you a few examples that I've done before. Let's click on Submitted Expenses. You'll see here that I have an entry for water bill. Let's open it up. Just like income, you can enter the name, amount, date, month, and the account it's related to. But you see that there's a new field called category, and you can choose what this particular expense fall under. The purpose of this is to track how much you're spending in each category. So at the end of the month or even a year, you can see how much you're spending for utilities, entertainment, and so on. So it's easier to track your expenses. And yes, you do need to set up the categories first. To do that, you can go back to the finance homepage. And on the right hand side, you'll see a database called budget categories. You see that I already have all the categories filled out for me, but feel free to edit or add to it according to your needs. Now, let's go back to expenses. So for every expense, you can upload a receipt. You can simply take a picture of the receipt and upload it here. And towards the bottom here, you'll see that I've set up a formula for each month. These are automatic calculations. As you can see that it's a formula. So this will simply see which month this expense entry is for and display the amount. This will later be used to calculate your expenses against your budget. But more on that later. So once you're ready to submit your expense, check on Submit Expense and you're done. So next is transfers. This is a simple tool to transfer between the accounts you have in Notion. So you'll see here, I have a marketing transfer of $600. I simply just need to put account where it's coming out from and the destination account. And you're done. It's very simple. Now, before we move on to the other tool, I'm going to show you quickly how the account balances pull in all the income, expenses, and transfers. So if you click on personal, you can see that it's using the roll-up property to pull in all income, expenses, and transfers, net everything out, and add it to the starting balance. And that number will be displayed under current balance. Now the formula is quite simple, just plus and minus. But you just need to understand the roll-up property in Notion to really understand how everything is connected. But that's of course out of the scope of this video. Now let's move on to subscriptions tracker. So this is a handy tool that I've created to keep track of your subscriptions. So you'll see here that I have a few examples ready. And if you click on Netflix, for example, you can enter the cost and you can categorize the item. Now you'll see that we have a few formulas here. Once you enter the cost, it will calculate monthly and yearly for you. You can also set a renewal date and it will also calculate the next renewal date based on your billing cycle. As you can see, this is a formula. And you can also check this box if it's an active subscription or not. Now, if you go to the next section down below, we have subscription categories. These are not connected to budget categories we discussed before. These categories are created exclusively for subscriptions only. You know how subscriptions can go out of hand. So this way, you can track on how much you're spending on shopping, education, entertainment, and so on. So our next tool is Debt Tracker. It's a simple tool you can use to track all of your debt that you like to clear. So let's say if you owe someone, you can put that in here. Or if you have a credit card loan, you can also put that in here. The only thing this tool doesn't do is calculate interest. So if you see, we have a debt amount and the amount paid off. And the progress bar on the right is just a visual to see how much you've paid and how much you have left to pay off. Let's move on to Budget Tracker. So this Budget Tracker is connected to expenses. Whatever you enter in expenses, and as long as you categorize them, they will appear here. I've created all the tabs for each month here. You can easily see how much you're spending in each category in a particular month. And if you look in detail, you can see that under education, you've set out a budget for $3,000 and you've spent $60 so far. And the progress bar shows the percentage spent. So now you might be asking, where do I set the budgets for each category? If you scroll down, you'll see a section called Budget by Category. This is where you set your budgets. Now you have to do it for each month because our budgets usually vary in each month and we want to have that flexibility. So I've already filled out an example for March here. You simply enter the amounts and you're good to go. And last but not least, we have a table split. It's really just a simple calculator to split your bill when you're out in a group. A lot of people use a separate app to split their bill, believe it or not. But having a tool like this directly in Notion just allows you to track everything in one place without having to download another app for a simple task like this. And it's very customizable as well. As you can see, I can use filters to view open or close items. You can write who paid the bill or even attach the receipt. So that's all for this section, guys. I hope this helps you understand the finance section better. Bye-bye.